go live then. What up? Back again.
Episode 80.
Josh. I can't disappoint Josh. I have to say what? Back again. At least once.
You got it out of the way. All right, sorry for the little delay there. We had some juggling of devices and all that kind of stuff. But here we are. We're here. Live and free as always. Several minutes late.
Hey, what are you going to do?
With Michael Todd. Welcome back to the show, Mike.
Glad to be back.
It's awesome to have you, man. So, my first question for you, Mike, is how good did it feel to come back and smack Travis around after you promised him you would a month earlier?
It felt really good. Yeah, that was the thing. It wasn't so much Travis that I was, frustrated with. It was more the haters, So much shit being said on social media.
No way.
After that, and I came home the very next day from Chicago and started training, and I was like, that's just not happening again. So yeah, Vegas turned out real nice for me. Unfortunately, it wasn't live on ESPN, so millions of people could see the ass whooping.
Sure.
But it was funny. I went back. Rebecca and I was watching some of y'all's videos the other day, and we watched Travis watch his interview. And he's talking about why people would not come to the WAL, why Tim Breslin wouldn't come, why I wouldn't come, is because we didn't think we could win. I was contracted for 2 years, and then I missed out. And then this year I came out and they had a rocky start in Chicago, but it all paid out.
Yeah, it's funny when people, play that card of like people are scared of the competition. That's why they're not coming. That's just like that's 101 for just getting more people to get involved. It's like clearly Michael Todd, you're not scared of competition. Clearly Tim Breslin over the years has never been scared of a competition. So it's just, it's funny how that riles feathers though, huh?
Yeah, he made some good points. If you didn't think you could win, the third, fourth, fifth, and the prize money wasn't going to be great for you.
Sure.
The hardest thing for me was the not being seen on ESPN and the Thor hammer, because I thought the hammer was badass. I got a pretty good deal with PAL, so. I did fairly well last year, even getting my ass kicked twice by, some Plinkoff and Trubin. But the deal with Steve and I had been talking quite a bit about WAL, and he agreed that I could go ahead and continue doing PAL. As long as it didn't air on the United States, I could do whatever I wanted. So that, because to me, what's most important is just matching just under 3 months with Pushkar. I've never been ranked overall number one. I was number 2 behind Dennis for a few years. I felt like I was the best, couldn't get that match.
Sure.
So this match, November 20th, is for the overall number 1 spot in the world. And for me, it'll be a unification match, because if I win, once I win, I will have been, I will be the super heavyweight champion of every major league. UAL, PAL, WAL, Arm Wars, NEL. When Travis did that, I'd be the champ of everything. So.
And Arnold's.
Yeah.
Don't forget Arnold's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah, man, it's been a hell of a year, Mike. You won Nationals, which, USAA, which is still counts in my book, and then you won Arnold's and WAL, and now you have this match with Pushkar. If you win that, nobody's going to have an argument left, because you beat Trubin, you beat Chafee, you beat Bajent.
There'll still be somebody out there saying I'm not the best, but I won't give a shit, because if the number 1 guy is Pushkar and I beat him, I'm the number 1 guy.
Yeah. No doubt about that. That's for sure.
So what has your training been looking like lately?
Okay, so leading up to Vegas, I still had that pec injury. I won the Arnold after tearing the pec just like 4 months earlier, 3.5 months earlier. But then when I pulled Gasparini in Italy, stretched loose some scar tissue, so it was jacked up again. And then I got home from Chicago and I had 6 weeks, so I started doing some physical therapy, which was, a good friend of mine, Eddie Stedman, and Stedman's physical therapy here in Hot Springs helped me out a lot. And so I was doing e-stim and ultrasound, and probe treatments. And then about 4 weeks out, we started doing BFR training, which is blood flow restrictive cuffs.
Okay.
He's got like a $5,000 machine. He hooks up to my arms, pumps it up to like 90 or 100%. And you're supposed to be able to work out at 30% of your max, and it feels like you're working at 80% of your max. But I kept just doing my normal weights, right? You're supposed to do a lot less weights, but I'm like, screw it, let's do the normal weights. And I think that's what allowed me to win Vegas. I mean, one of the big things, I started taking extreme endurance again, too, which helped out a lot. But like I had that 1 and 4 second match with Xena, and then 5 minutes later I had to pull Travis. I mean, I should have been shot after that match, but the BFR training, I just put some ice on my arm and it was back. So BFR's helped out a lot. Came home from that. I mean, I didn't really chill. I mean, I just did some non-BFR training for 2 or 3 weeks. Got back started. This is my 5th week of BFRs. And it's crazy. Like you'll do, say I'm doing chest, a chest workout. I'll do 30 reps, take a 30-second break, do 20 reps, take a 30-second break, do 15 reps. And week 1, I just did 3 rounds with a set of wrist rolls in between. Then I did back, then I did legs and arms and shoulders. And then the next week was 4 rounds. And then the next week was 5 rounds. But then on week 4, we increased the weight 20 pounds on every exercise, went back to 3 rounds. This week, we're on 4 rounds. So next week will be 5 rounds. I'll take a week off. I mean, I'll take a week where I just do like non-BFRs and do some maxes. Not like tear my pec before Zloty maxes, but, just kind of conservatively do some maxes. And then we're taking off for a week. We're going to Punta Cana, and I'm taking an entire week off. No workout, no training. I come back, I got 8 weeks to kill it. And those circuits are going to be like, say it's a chest and tricep day. I'll do 30 reps of, 225 on the bench, whatever. I'll have BFRs on. So it may be 205s, 215s, 220, something like that. And then I'll hop over and I'll do a 100-pound wrist roll. And then I'll go do 150-pound triceps for 30. Then I'll do 130-pound cable pulls, 10 reps left, 10 reps right, and then 30 seconds of battle ropes. And I'll do 5 rounds for time. And that's how my training is going to be. Now, my morning circuits, I've been doing some crazy shit. I was doing some crazy HIIT training, farmer's walks, tire flips, sledgehammer, just crazy shit. I've kind of been doing something lately that is not quite as intense, but it's working my hand really well. So I'll do like 30 seconds of battle ropes. I get 1.5 inch, 50-foot battle ropes, slap on the ground for 30, but that's 45 seconds. 45 seconds of battle ropes, 10 jumping jacks. I'll go over and I'll wrist roll 100 pounds, and then I bounce around for a minute. And every 2 minutes, I do another round. So it's 30 minutes. So it's 15 rounds so like 11 and a half minutes of battle ropes, 150 jump jacks, 15 sets of wrist rolls, and that's my morning cardio. But my hands just wrist rolling those, because they're softballs you're wrist rolling. Okay. And then holding on to those battle ropes, man, my hands getting strong.
Now I
rope for 25 minutes a day.
Yeah, you've always trained hard over the years. You've always been one of those guys who's pushed really hard. Have you ever had it where it's been so regimented like this before?
No, man, I'm telling you, November 20th, I will be the strongest, most prepared version of me anyone's ever seen. This is the most important, outside of my faith and my family, this is the most important thing in my life right now. Now, will I retire after November 20th? Who knows? But that's the most important thing coming up right there,
Do you think that, well, first of all, is your pec fully healed?
I mean, I was benching 480 the day I tore it, and then I went and was going to rep 405 for 8. Third rep it tore. The most I went up to since then is 405. Like I said, in a couple weeks, I'll probably, 435, 440. I feel fine. Like leading up to Vegas, I don't know if y'all saw some of the practice I was having with Bruce Jones. We were just going all out, hitting as hard as we can, practicing ready goes, and my pec held together. My pec held together against Travis is doing his stupid shit. So, elbow fouling 14 feet, and then
I saw it.
Yeah. And then held together against Dave. So, I mean, I think my pec's fine.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, being another over 40 guy like me, do you feel like it's impacted your training at all?
The pec tear?
Just in general, like being over 40, has it changed? Yeah, has it changed anything for you?
I got more of a sense of urgency.
Yeah, a little more desperate. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We did an interview for Iron Rating the other day, and they asked me what I think is going to help me beat Pushkar.
I can switch to computer.
Oh, Rebecca's going to switch to computer if we want to. So I guess we'll do that. Is that cool? Do you want to do that?
You're fine like this as far as I'm concerned.
This is perfect.
Oh, we're good. Okay, cool. They asked me what's going to help me win, and it's just my sheer desire to win. I'm 44 years old. He's still young. This is my shot, right? So, I do believe I'm going to win. I really do. I mean, and I don't want to disrespect Pushkar by saying I guarantee victory, but I mean, I'm 100% going into this match preparing to win in an impressive fashion. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to just be, he just barely won that one. No, I'm kicking some ass that day. I'm going to be a bad dude.
Yeah, and it has to give you a little bit of confidence that you know his lane. You know how he pulls. You've done this before with him. Obviously, a ton of respect for Pushkar because, the last time you guys pulled it was 6-0, and he wants another piece. So,
well, okay, we did pull my first match at Zloty last year. He was my first match.
Okay.
Which that actually gives me more confidence than the 6-0 vendetta from 2012 because I tore my pec 20 days before that match.
Right.
And I still feel I stopped him before he pinned me. They called a parallel pin. I don't think it was a parallel pin, but I had no side pressure. I mean, I stopped him with straight, just hitting straight back, and his wrist buckled there at the end. Unless he's significantly stronger than he was that day, man, I'm going to have a good day. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Well, we were talking about this. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, Mike, but, we were saying, Pushkar, his best chances in match 1 and 2. And if he relies on just that Titanic hit that he has, it's going to get weaker every time. And we were basically postulating that he's going to end up in a world of trouble if he kept doing that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, he's so strong, he doesn't have to be very versatile. He hasn't had to develop a variety of techniques like the rest of us because that one move is so strong, And I do believe he's a guy who learned from his mistakes. I saw him pull Truman in his super match or then vendetta, and I saw him actually push a little bit of shoulder press to finish there. It wasn't a fully committed press, but I saw him push towards the pad versus staying out where he was, where he pulled me. So I'm telling you, here's what I'm saying. Come November 20th, it wouldn't matter who they put in front of me. I'm beating any man on earth that day.
I love the attitude, man.
I'm going to be the strongest I've ever been for sure.
All right, so let's assume that you don't retire after that. And without looking ahead, I mean, do you have any other goals? I mean, I know last time we were on the show, and actually both times we talked at Nationals, you said that your number one goal in arm wrestling was to be ranked number 1. So if you make that, are you going to feel like, you're done, you completed your goals? I mean, do you still have more in the tank after that?
Well, here's the problem with retiring. I have a wife who is starting to train hard to compete because I've been trying to go do that for a while. But my stepson is a reigning national champion, right? So he's probably not going to quit arm wrestling, which in turn means I'm probably going to be around arm wrestling for a while.
Yeah.
So the guys who retire from arm wrestling are the guys who never even show up to a tournament again. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because you can't be around arm wrestling and not arm wrestle. So,
true,
I mean,
true.
Will I feel like would I be okay retiring after winning and becoming the world number 1? Absolutely. 27 years, pretty much won everything. Okay, I haven't won WAF because somebody's going to say a comment about that.
They already have. There's already 3 people asked
for me and my family to go to WAF, I'll go win that one. But so, after Pushkar, now this is all considering, that I win, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are going to be some haters out there saying, I still didn't beat Simplenkov or still never beat Devin. And if Devin beats Simplenkov, well, there's a potential super match for the ages,
Right.
But that one, if that was to happen, that's one that I'm going to promote in maybe a WAL heavyweight versus super heavyweight, big money match. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of possibility. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get more local recognition. Like I've never tried to self-promote. And so, like, we could, I fly to Europe and the taxi cab driver may know me because they saw me on Armsport or Eurosport.
Sure, yeah.
But no one in my hometown knows the world champion lives here, right? So we're trying to do some more stuff, kind of start doing some youth clinics, get some youth involved. We just went to a Rotary meeting today in our hometown, and one of the guys at the visitor center wants me to hold a big international tournament here. So I'm starting to get some local support. Did the whole throw the first pitch out at one of our minor league games. Just stuff, because I got to capitalize on where I'm at right now. ESPN not airing the finals hurt me because I was going to use that as a launching pad to help promote my business.
Right.
But hey, dude, everything happens for a reason. So I'm just focused on Pushkar. Whatever happens after that, who cares? Hell, I just
think
want to
that's
be
a
number
good way to
one.
do it.
Well, yeah, you know, when
Yeah.
people whoever wins certain things, you know, you can't really predict who, you know, what's going to come down the road as far as what's going to set up a good, you know, possible like you know, super match, or even like, you know, it depends on who wins other matches that make things seem interesting. And that being said, you know, with Devin versus Dennis, what are your thoughts on that?
If Devin's in the ballpark with strength, Devin's going to wear him out and win.
Yeah,
If
6 rounds is tough on Dennis, huh?
If the Blinkoff's just too strong, then he's just too strong. You know what I'm saying?
Have you seen? Did you watch that video of Dennis that they had up online last week?
Yeah, he's 130, 133 kilos or something like
Yeah,
that. 'Cause he's been
he
sick.
didn't look good to me. He looked, you know, he looked sick, is what he looked.
Well, I hope he's not. You know,
Yeah,
but because he's an impressive specimen of a man, and he's accomplished a lot, and I wish the very best for him. But I would like for Devin to be at his best and Dennis to be at his best, and just like I want Pushkar to be at his best. I want the best man to win, right? So I can't predict what's going to happen with Devin. Devin, I've talked about it a bunch. I think Devin's chances are very good, you know, if his strength is comparable.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like the conversations everybody was having when Devin pulled Richard Lupke's in Vegas, where it's like, well, if he can stop him, he's fine, but if he can't stop him, what are you going to do about it, right?
Yeah.
Well, Dennis said he hasn't pulled anybody, you know, in a match or even in practice for a year and a half.
Well, he
So you
pulled me
gotta-
July 22nd last year.
Okay, so I think that was the last time he pulled then. So that's, what is that, 13 months ago? 13 months ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's going to have a major impact on his endurance on the table, if that's true.
He does have 3 months to prepare, you know, so, I mean, there's a lot of variables. I just, you know, if he's sick, I hope he gets better, and I hope he's able to bring his best version to the table, so.
So back to you and Pushkar, Mike. Have you, you know, without giving away secrets or anything, but have you been doing any training to counter his
Nope.
techniques?
I told you exactly what I've been doing. You know, I will tell him exactly what I'm doing to encourage him to do exactly what I'm doing, so that when I win, there's no excuses. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not a guy that hides my strategy. My strategy is to not get pinned when they say go.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's a good strategy.
That's my entire game plan. When they say go, don't get pinned, then find a way to win.
Who's going to ref the match? Do you know?
I don't care.
Okay.
You know, I mean, that's never something that bothers me so much. You know, I just want to be so strong on that day that the only way I lose is if he's stronger than me. Yeah, I mean, I like, you know, when I first pulled Pushkar the first time, Neil was afraid that because I was an Arm Wars champion, he's like, well, man, they're gonna foul you. It's really rigid rules. And I don't foul a lot, you know. So I've done a bunch of vendettas. I've never really fouled out of a vendetta. I mean, I fouled out my last match against Dennis,
Right.
Which sucked. So I guess I could retract that statement. But you know, I don't really care. I mean, it really reffing, location doesn't matter. You know, I just want to be world number one.
So how would you compare what you assume your power level is going to be this time, as opposed to the match with Gasparini?
I think Gasparini I just was on vacation. You know what I'm saying? And I was expecting a 210-pound dude, not a 230-pound dude.
Mm-hmm.
And my pec just wasn't, you know, wasn't right. And I grabbed him wrong. I mean, so when Devin beat me and Trubin beat me and Gasparini got those first couple wins on me, I was floating my hand, right? So I'm in the strap and I'm going to hit straight back. And if I don't clamp my hand, my opponents using that particular technique are able to stretch out the strap a little bit, create a gap in the strap, which allows them to walk out of my hand in the strap.
Yep.
So like at the Arnold, people are like, what did you do different to beat Trubin? I'm like, well, when I closed my hand, I kept it closed. You know what I'm saying? I never once tried to walk him, which allowed him not to be able to walk me. Because as long as my fingers never opened up, he wasn't going to be able to walk over my hand. So I just held on to him until I got in a position to pin him. I made that mistake against Gasparini, and you know he jumped all over me. But yeah, okay. As far as to answer the question, my power level in November compared to Gasparini is going to be drastically different. I don't know how to gauge it percentage-wise. All I can say is I think at WAL, I think that day I was, you know, in a one-on-one format, I could beat anybody in the world that day. And I had 6 weeks to prepare for it.
Sure. Do you just think that
I've got
just
4.5 months for this. So
yeah, and do you think it's just? I mean, we've all pulled injured. Do you feel like just the main difference is going to be that you're a lot healthier?
The main difference is I'm not going to do a bunch of stupid shit leading up to the match that causes me to get injured.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I concur with that.
So what happened? We came home from Vegas. We came home from Chicago, and I was so pissed about the way that went down, right? That I had 42 days, and I told Ryan, I said, I'm going to train for 35 days nonstop. I'm going to take the last set. He goes, well, when are you going to rest? I'm like, yeah, the last week. It's the only time I'm going to rest. He goes, listen, every time before a major tournament, you end up doing some stupid shit that gets you injured. This is that stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? So don't do that. So then I started going on a 2-day on, 1 day off. So I do, physical therapy helped out drastically. I mean, that's what, like, okay, so my physical therapist actually comes to my house 4 days a week to train me.
Wow.
So he shuts down his clinic. So I have this full gym in my home, but I wait till 7:30 at night every night to train because that's when he can come over. So he comes over, hooks the BFRs up, and he's there for me. So he's the one that was like, how's your pec feel? I'm like, oh, that's good. And like I'm in there in the middle of a set, and he's feeling my pec to make sure, it feels good. So I'm feeling good. Go ahead, babe.
After Chicago and before Las Vegas, he was probably in his clinic getting physical therapy, ultrasound, STEM, and all kinds of stuff 4 to 5 days a week. And he's never, ever done that before, in his history of arm wrestling. So I think him actually getting a professional on board to help him heal up was a big reason that he was so strong.
Well, until my left arm blew apart, I never even went and got my right elbow x-rayed. People are like, oh, I've got this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure I got that. I just never went to the doctor.
Right.
My arm would hurt. I'm like, let's just work to it. So that's basically been my strategy forever. And, I was like, okay, I'm getting older. Clearly, I can't do the same shit I used to. And I can't just train stupid. So, just being a little bit smarter with my training, and the physical therapy is helping.
It sounds that way. It sounds very organized. Yeah, I mean,
I'm just taking a professional approach, right?
Right. That's exactly what it sounds like.
So,
all right. Let me ask both of you a question because, a lot of people commented on the picture that I used to advertise the show, which is Rebecca jumping into your arms to give you a huge hug after you won. And so I just wanted to ask, both of you, what was that like, that entire day, when you had the crazy elbow falls with Travis and, so it didn't start off the way you wanted to, and then you had to stay in the game and come back and win. What was the whole thing like from beginning to end?
That was the craziest, strongest roller coaster ride of emotions that I have ever felt that day. Just because being in this with him for so long and it coming down to that day, and everyone, this man right over here, my son Ron, Ron told him as soon as he figures out he can't pin you, he's going to raise his elbow up. Mm-hmm. Sure enough, the crap happens. This guy right here tells me that. And when I saw that happen, in my mind, I'm like, that's it. Michael just won on fouls. And then they call the win for Travis. And I got to tell you, I lost my religion for a second. All right? I mean, I may look little, but you got a picture. I was standing on top of a table, barefoot, screaming down. And he looks at me and he's like, you didn't see what I saw? I'm like, I can see just fine. But anyways, he ended up making it right just because he was discussing with the other referee. He was like, you weren't watching over here. This is what, Travis did. Yeah. And so once it was recalled, and then Michael did get the win. But then the very next match
was Dave.
Was Nick Zena.
No, Nick Zena was first.
Oh.
Yeah, my next match was Dave.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, going back to the Nick Zena match, first of all, Michael lost his mind immediately after that match. He comes over and he's like, well, I won, but the whole tournament's blown. And I'm screaming at him, this is what the BFRs are for, Michael. It's what the BFRs are for. Right. Shut up and pay.
And I'm over there going, shut up. You know what you're talking about. I'm screwed. Like, I really was just really disheartened because, watch Travis get a first round bye and then, like, flash some dude. So he's arm wrestled like 2 seconds. And I had my, first round against the New Zealand dude and then Jeff Slater or something. Both pretty quick wins. And then a minute and 4 with Nick, right? So I was over there freaking out thinking there's no way. Like I said, she goes, you want some ice? Yeah, just give me some ice. And then I got up there against Travis and I was good. But then the next match with Dave, he got a little bit of, if you watch the video, he carves his wrist in just a tad before he go. And, dude, I could not get out of that for nothing. That cat was strong, right? I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's just the fact that, like I said, it was a crazy emotional roller coaster because everything that everybody was worried about, that's exactly what happened. He got the worst, I mean, the absolute worst bracket because he had to go through and fight everybody, right? And the calls were getting called crazily and not making any sense. So everything that could happen did, and he was able to overcome every obstacle. So, yeah, when you saw me jump in his arms or that picture, I'd actually run across the top of the table, jump down, and just jumped right up into his arms. And I don't know. I don't think I've ever had a feeling quite like that moment. It was I'm just super proud of him.
I mean, I was blessed. I mean, God definitely was with me during that. I'd done everything I could, and I truly believe His strength's going to got me through that event. I mean, yeah. So.
One part of that I really liked, Mike, because I was watching that live, and there's a lot of people screaming. Believe me, it wasn't just Rebecca, because the elbow foul, which I'm sure you saw the video, was like you said, it was like 8 inches, and I was like, what the hell was that? And then, but what I really liked was that you didn't leave the table. You stood there. A lot of people would have been like, that sucked, and walked away. But you stayed there, you stayed there, you stayed there, and I was like, this guy's not leaving the table until they do it over again.
Well, I knew he didn't pin me.
Yeah.
And I knew I hadn't fouled out. Because I had only had one foul, right? So I was like, I don't know what the hell y'all talking about, but I'm not leaving.
That's the only time they've done that. They've never done that before. They've never rerun a match. So I thought that was impressive by itself, that you're like, I'm not leaving until we do it again. It reminded me of Jim Fitzsimmons. He did that a long time ago in AAA Nationals. He ended up getting kicked out of the Nationals for doing it. But
so that's what was going to happen. I was either getting the match or we were leaving.
I actually think that goes back to the tournament style arm wrestling that he's been doing before, because I was talking to Denise afterwards, and she said, I taught everybody that. I told everybody that. If you get a call that you do not believe is correct, you can object to it, but you don't leave the table. She said, on the flip side of that, if the call is in your favor and it might be sketchy, you run.
Just like Travis. He ran away. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, okay, I got that one. I'm out, but no, it was cool, man. But after the Dave thing, going back to the B side, that match meant more. That Travis match meant more to me than the first Travis match, because he actually gave up. You know what I'm saying? Like he got some. He elbow fouled off the front. He gets the elbow foul. It's a running foul.
Sure.
He's trying to get more hand height. Then he hits over. He goes slow. Then he makes one hard surge. Realizes he's not going to pin me, and he just pins himself. So that's what I wanted. I wanted Travis to pin himself. So then I'm kind of feeling like I'm kind of screwed because I got Dave next. And so as soon as they start that match, we go. He asked to go straight to the straps. That's not the smart decision on my part, because if we slip, I'm going to take more wear and tear on him. I'm going to fatigue him a little bit. But I'm like, yeah, sure, let's go straight to the strap. And we hit, and his wrist buckles a little bit. They called the parallel pin, but I saw his wrist buckle. I'm like, oh, shit, I got this.
Yeah.
Once I saw that wrist buckle, I'm like, oh, I'm winning this. Because I didn't think I was going to win at that point. I was like, I'm glad Bob Brown's paying $500 a second. You know what I'm saying? Because I was not expected to win. And then once I saw that wrist buckle, I could envision me being the champ, having the hammer, because I'm glad that they provided the hammers. The Thor hammer was something important to me, So that whole day, man, was leading up to it was fun.
It was awesome.
I was like 296 when I weighed in, and I had people walk up, dude, you're huge. What are you, like 320? I'm like, no, 295. But I looked big. And Ron Bath, I'm looking at Ron, looking at how ripped that dude is, and all he's going, dude, you're huge. Your shoulders are huge. We were at the pool, and I think mine and Ron's entire conversation was he telling me how big I am, me telling him how ripped he is. So it was a lot of fun. Man, it was it really was. It meant a whole lot to me.
Of course,
because it was something that I hadn't even doubted myself. I thought I was just a one-on-one format arm wrestler.
Right.
I couldn't win a deep tournament against the best guys. And once that bad performance in Chicago, they dropped that. Whoever did the In the Hook rankings dropped me so far down the rankings. Their top 3 guys were Travis, Dave, Nick. I went through 1, 2, and 3 to win the title. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's always nice, when you beat the top guys all on the same day with the worst draw you could possibly get. It
wasn't a great draw.
Pretty satisfying. Yeah, I could agree with that.
I think it's great, and you got a great team behind you too. I mean, I've seen you guys all at nationals a few years in a row now. I like how tight you guys are and how much you support each other. It's fun to watch, and a lot of us end up traveling places by ourselves because our wives and kids are sick of it. So it's just cool that you have these guys with you everywhere you go.
It really, I mean, it's and the thing is, Rebecca and I, since we got married, we haven't been apart more than 12 hours. I won't go anywhere without her. Mm-hmm. Like, we got invited to come out to San Francisco for the practice and stuff. And I'm like, I appreciate the offer, but I can't come, unless Rebecca's coming. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. I mean, if I'm going, she's going.
I love that.
I don't want to have life experiences. I don't want to see cool stuff and not have her there with me. So
sure.
And then we just throw Ryan in. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, this kid loves arm wrestling. I mean, he really studies it like it's a college course, It's crazy. And every day, a fun part of my workouts is knowing that I'm going to get to report to my son what I did, Mm-hmm. And he will quickly tell me what I need to change up and stuff. But what I was going to get to is we are all supportive, but my son kind of just said something really funny back there. He said, when you were talking about how you have to travel alone, he said it's more peaceful that way. We do, especially if I'm cutting carbs, we do tend to get a little heated during traveling. But, it's not always sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, we just went to that AAA Nationals, and I think it was a 12 or 13-hour road trip. Wow. And a few of Ryan's friends, made the trip with us. And apparently they had been warned previously by other friends of Ryan's who'd road trip with us. Listen, now they're going to get a little crazy, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even think we got out of the driveway until we were already screaming at each other. And then one of the kids was like this real quiet dude. And he's like, I've always thought Rebecca was just this really sweet, nice lady. And then, dude, she's crazy. I was like, it was, I mean, she was taking all kinds of really bad threats towards me. You know what I'm saying? But that's our road trip. It's always entertaining. Ryan's like, well, I got these really good headphones and they're perfect, so he just puts his headphones on and lets us go at it.
Yeah, everybody cuts weight different, in different moods and.
Well, especially when I'm a super heavyweight and I don't have to. Yeah. That was what was horrible about Vegas, is I gained 26 pounds in 6 weeks. I put about 4 inches on my waist. You know what I'm saying? I literally just ate whatever I wanted and drank a shake with it, right? Mm-hmm. So this whole time, Rebecca's like, we're gonna be at the pool in Vegas. I got to cut, so she cuts 15 pounds. She's not competing nothing. She just want to get lean, and I'm eating, extra most bestest pizzas in front of her and just going crazy.
That physical therapist brought him 5 large Domino's pizzas one night. Oh my God. I love Domino's pizza. It was not on my friends list for a while after that.
I mean, I had a lot of support. I had one of our good friends who was making me these massive meals each week to eat on. Like he'd bring me, they made me a 20,000 calorie birthday cake. And I mean, everybody was supporting me because I wanted to be big, wanted to be strong. I'm going to take a little bit different approach when I get back from Punta Cana. So I'm not bulking right now. I'm just I got off the weight gainers. I got off everything. Just started back creatine about a week ago. Once I get back from Punta Cana, it's full bore. It's weight gainers. But I'm going to try to eat cleaner those 8 weeks versus just trying to get calories from whenever I can get them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, it makes you wonder what Pushkar is doing because I haven't seen a lot of stuff about him lately. So I don't know if he's training his ass off somewhere secretly in a Russian gym or Ukrainian.
If he's doing anything like Truman's doing, he's going to be enormous.
Yeah,
no kidding.
Yeah. He's probably going to be big. And he's only, what is he, 27 now, 28? He looks like he's 40, but he's actually only
Pushkar?
Yeah.
Pushkar's like 31, I think.
Is he 31?
29, 30. I mean, he's late 20, early 30. I mean,
he's a new dad.
Yeah. Truman, I think, is like 28 or something.
Yeah.
All these guys start pulling when they're 15, so they've been in the game forever, but they're young still,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if I'm supposed to let this leak or not, but I'm going to anyway. Potentially, there's going to be another match added to the All-Star Vendetta. The number 3 and number 4 overall in the world are going at it. Dimitri Truman and Dave Chapey.
Wow.
Supposedly. You know what I'm saying? So
that's awesome.
I'm super excited about seeing that if it happens. So imagine that. Me versus Pushkar, Devin versus Simplinkov, Dave versus Truman.
That's amazing.
That's an event you don't want to miss for sure.
No, I'll be watching. That's incredible. Yeah, I hope that. As much as there was a lot of negativity with WAL collapsing, this kind of stuff makes it better because we can finally get all these matches we've been waiting for the last 3 or 4 years. So there's a good side to it too.
Yeah, I personally, on that note, I don't necessarily think WAL is finished. I think the previous format may be over.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's going to still be some things in the works. I don't have any inside knowledge on it, but I'm just optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been rumblings about some kind of super match series, and I hope it does come back. We're trying to get Steve Kaplan on the show the whole time. He never came on, but I wish he would because I think it would do him some good to talk to people that were mad at him and explain what happened and talk about the future and that kind of stuff. It might get people a little bit excited about it, especially if they're going to have heavy duty super matches again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and talking about TV, ESPN, that kind of thing, WAL. You've had a lot of experience, obviously, on Arm Wars for years and years and years with super match format, and then there's WAL which is a tournament format with a super match at the end. When it comes to TV, maybe it's just in America, but I'm not sure. But when it comes to TV, what do you think the best format is? What are we missing?
Okay, I think it's a character buildup. I think it's a 30-minute show, 2 guys, watch both of them train. WAL had a pretty good thing where they was doing the at-home features, and then they did the whole tournament. The whole tournament, in my opinion, is too much to hold the consumer. Like the 24-hour access sort of stuff they do for the boxing. All that stuff you lead up to the fight, that's exciting. Or UFC Countdown, that's a ton of stuff that makes you want to watch the fight. Right. This guy training, that guy training, their backstory. I think there needs to be more of that. Now, once you get that, we can create a fan base. That fan base is going to want to see the outcome. Mm-hmm. So I think it's super match format. I think it's one-on-one. Have the tournaments to find the next number one contender, stuff like that. But the televised feature shows, in my opinion, should be one-on-ones.
Yeah, so
I think that's going to create. I think that's going to hold the spectator viewer better.
Well, yeah. So if you have a fight card of 6 matches, you have 12 people. It's really easy to keep track of 12 people. You can pick you can pick your favorites and all that kind of stuff, and you can create, like you said, those all access. Watching them train, getting to know their families, their backstories a little bit. But when you have a tournament with 8 weight classes and 20 people in each, it's like, how? And
there's no way.
People can't even like when they look at the stage, they're like, what class is this again? Like the 65ers look like the 95ers sometimes. You don't even know what class you're looking at.
And I disagree with the live broadcasting. I think that's where they made a mistake trying to do live broadcasting. We've never done live broadcasting before. Why didn't you get a better product once it's edited? Yes, you have to keep the results quiet or whatever, but you get a better product once it's edited. We're talking about, the set grip and this and that. Dude, just edit that shit. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, it's not that big a deal. Just film it, get a good product. If it was me and I had the money, that's exactly what I would do. I would do super matches, at-home features, backstory, do time buys. I'd time buy the shit, put it up, make sure it's on TV, make sure people see it, create a demand, then make my money on the back end.
Yeah,
I think people made mistakes just trying to go too big too fast, or I don't know. Clearly, they almost had it. It looked like they almost had it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. That's why I had to go to WAL. I was like, I cannot stand this shit anymore. I cannot watch arm wrestling on TV and me not be on there.
Right.
Because I'm training. We run a business, and I'm training clients, and my clients know I'm the world champion. They're like, well, who's this guy on ESPN saying he's the best? I'm like, he's a bum. Thinking about Travis, not Dave. Dave's awesome. No, I like Travis too. I just gotta give him shit.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. There were some people asking questions earlier on in the conversation about what is your and Travis's relationship like after the WAL.
Well, after I haven't spoke to him. Before, he was calling me up every couple of weeks, dude. Just, constantly. Like, just running, it was back and forth. So every time he would call, I kept telling him it's impossible for someone as weak as you are to pin my right arm. So, he would tell his shit, and I would tell him this. So every time I saw Travis, even when we got to Vegas, as soon as I'd walk up to him, he's like, what are you weighing? I'm like, I don't know, but I just want you to know it's impossible for someone as weak as you are to pin my right arm. So it was just our back and forth. There's a few times he would call, and he'd be on the car phone or something. Rebecca would get the video camera just videoing us talking because the shit was hilarious, because Travis is funny.
Right.
Yeah,
he goes,
he's very funny.
What are you going to do with Dave? He said, how could you possibly got that much stronger in 6 weeks? I said, just show up to Vegas and find out, So it was just a bunch of back and forth.
Your relationship is bad. Their relationship isn't bad, and I think that you have actually had a couple of texts or something from him, or where you were talking to him about anything that might be in the works or something. But
yeah. We talked about stuff.
yeah, Travis, he's a difficult fellow, but I'll tell you, he is one of the best people I have ever met at self-promotion, but also promoting anything that he's involved in. I mean, he's really, really good at that. And that's one of the things that I wish that Michael could actually get a little bit better at. He thinks that he should just win and people should just come to him, you know?
Well, he's right. He's right. That should happen, but
you've got to sell this to folks, you know?
Yeah.
No, he's good for the sport. Now, the way that he was arm wrestling at WAL is not really good for the sport, because then we have a whole bunch of kids that are just getting started and they don't understand why they have to keep their elbow on a pad, you know? And so I really would like for people to keep the rules as WAF, you know, with the professional limits of it. But no, he's a good fellow.
That's our first animal guest.
Yeah, that was Oreo. Billy's also trying to jump up here too, but yeah. And I mean, like I said, Travis. The one thing you get from Travis is when you here we go. Here's Oreo. Yeah. So whenever he's promoting your brand, he is doing a great job. I mean, like he's really, really good. Like at the Pro Football Playing Arm Wrestling Championship, he did a great job. I mean, he really is good at that. I mean, he's one of the few. Like someone asked me the other day, you know, how much money you make arm wrestling, whatever. And I tell everybody the guy who's made the most money arm wrestling ever is Travis Bajan. I mean, he signed that Vodtech deal years ago. He didn't go all the way through, but I mean, Travis makes good money either arm wrestling or promoting arm wrestling. You know, and he's taken his arm wrestling accomplishments and parlayed that into several other things, like his. You know, he worked with Rogue for a while. I mean, one of the coolest things we did was going to the CrossFit Games when I pulled Dave there. That was such a cool experience.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we spent a couple weeks ago when the CrossFit Games were live in Madison, Wisconsin. We spent 4 days glued to our phones watching that shit, dude. I mean, that is some of the most inspiring. CrossFit, elite CrossFit Games athletes are amazing. One of the things I heard the commentator say was, you don't understand how badass you have to be to suck at the CrossFit Games. You know what I'm saying? To come in dead last. To be the 40th dude, you are a bad dude, you know?
No, that's true. That's true.
When they announced Matt Fraser's fittest man on earth, it kind of hit home a little bit. I'm like, fittest guy on earth. In 3 months, I got a chance at being the best arm wrestler on earth. You know what I'm saying? So being world champion is awesome and winning this league or that league, but to be globally recognized as the very best in the world at what you do, my arm wrestling career will not be complete until that happens. So
I hope that after you win this match that you will give WAF some serious consideration, because you're right, there's a ton of people saying we want Mike in WAF. And most of it is because, you know, we want to see the best Americans over there competing with all the other countries and stuff like that. So maybe a couple of years from now,
we actually intend on going next year, and I'll tell you why. There's a 21 and under class, right?
Yeah.
So Ryan turns 21 next year.
Yeah, so he can still do it.
2 years ago, he was 18 for the 18 and under, and he was going to be 18 when the event happened. But because he turned 18 a month later, he wasn't going to be 18 and under.
Right.
Because it's calendar year.
Yeah.
So I'm like, screw that. We're not spending the money to go this year for you to be in the 21 and under class when you're only 18. So let's just wait. So next year in Turkey, I hear from Leonard Harkless, Turkey's going to be amazing because where it's held at, it's going to be all-inclusive. Once you get there, it's all-inclusive.
Oh.
So some badass resort on a sea or something.
On the Black Coast, so, it's supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, so I mean, we intend on going to that. Now, I can't guarantee I'm going to pull the Open. I may just pull the Masters. You know what I'm saying? And the reason being, now check this out. I'm going to get a bunch of shit for that too, but if I pulled the Open, you know, there would be Levin, Gennady. Those are potential money matches for me. You know, so let's say, you know, I beat Pushkar and there's more vendettas down the road. Those are potential opponents.
Sure.
Why would I arm wrestle them for free? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's money I can make off those matches. So I could just, and I can't say you're staying safe pulling the Masters, right? I mean, but my intentions have been to just go pull the Masters, right? But who knows? Maybe something will change. I'm telling you, I can't even see. I can't see that far. All I can see is Pushkar November 20th. Yeah. That's all I'm looking for.
I'm never good at looking that far down the road either. I hear you.
Well, I think either way it'd be fun. I mean, I think it'd be a lot of fun to bring Ryan over there. One of the things that I noticed was that most of the countries have huge youth teams, and we brought 2 people last year, Chance and Sage, and that was it. And I was like, man, some of these guys have like 40, 50 kids in their team in all these different classes, and we brought basically nobody because we have almost no true youth divisions here in any tournament.
We absolutely don't.
Yeah. And I was psyched to see that Bill Collins at USAF Nationals next year, that he's putting a focus on junior classes across the board. So now it's on us to make sure we bring all of our kids so they can go and compete in Turkey, because it's an amazing experience to be able to do that at that age.
Well, that's what we want to do here with the youth clinics. It's two-sided. One, it is to get more youth involved, find out about the sport. But like I said, we're trying to get sponsorship locally, trying to get more, interest generated. Mm-hmm. So if we get the youth involved, the parents get involved. Once the parents are involved, sponsorship's going to be involved. You know what I'm saying? So we want to get more kids involved. I mean, I love this sport. I mean, mm-hmm. It's an extended family to me. I mean, and also next year at Worlds, Rebecca will be pulling 132 Masters as well. So nice. We'll be training for that. But we want to have there's a lot of kids, man. So Ryan got into this, and he started this Glen Rose arm wrestling team. That's it's the school he went to. And there are kids now who arm wrestle, who win medals, who place at these events, who've never won stuff before, mm-hmm. who weren't traditional athletes, who, just had never got to be someone who competed in one-on-one or anything like that. So arm wrestling is one of those sports that you don't have to be the football star. You don't have to be, you can just be a hard-working farm boy and get out there and win, So. Mm-hmm. That's cool, man. I dig that. So the more kids we can get involved, the better our sport's going to be.
Totally agree. All right, let me get some of these questions in because I've been pretty much ignoring them. Let's see here. How's the left going? Daniel wants to know how your left is holding up these days.
My left is absolutely horrible. I'm in excruciating pain as we speak. I don't know what's going on with my left. It just okay. So we got hit by a car a couple years ago walking downtown.
Right.
And flipped me over the hood, knocked her to the ground. I think I partially tore my rotator cuff, kind of rehabbed it myself. I went to the doctor before Vegas to see if there's anything I could do with my right elbow, just to have him check it out. That's the worst elbow I've ever seen. But he looked at my left, and he said he thinks I have a partial tear again where I tore my medial collateral ligament. Okay. He thinks I'm going to have a partial tear there again. And then something is running up into my shoulder. So, like, my shoulder press is pretty deadly. Yeah, it's not working that great. And here's the deal. So I've had 2 practices in the last month. Mm-hmm. And after the practices, because Bruce Jones' right arm's been hurt, so he and I haven't been on pull. Like, I'd pull him a couple times, and it started hurting, so he couldn't pull. So everybody else, I would just pull on. So my right hasn't gotten much work. But my left, I'm getting out there and just banging left-handed. And I'm talking for a week. Horrible pain. Like, just horrible pain. And I'm like, I'll try it again. So we did it again this weekend. That was my last practice left-handed. Not pulling any more left-handed until after Pushkar. Because the worst thing that could happen is I've tear something up my left and I can't train.
Right.
Sure.
I'm really super superstitious right now about any injuries. Because last year I was prepping for the Zloty and I tore my lat, and then 12 days later I tore my pec, and then 20 days later I competed Zloty. Right. So I'm just going to try to be as smart as I can.
Good.
Keep the left, keep training the left. Do cable pulls, all that, but I'm not getting on the table with anybody left-handed until after.
That sounds smart. Good, yeah. Good. We need you to be 100%. Let's see. Alex wants to invite you and Ryan to Paul Cohen's house in September. I assume you know all those people, so.
Yeah, we're already coming.
There
Ryan's
you go.
not coming. It's just me and Rebecca.
All right, so.
Yeah, we're going to be leading practices on the 2nd. We're flying in the 1st, flying out the 3rd.
And Herman Stevens, I missed this when we were in the middle of this discussion, but it's a good question, so I'm going to ask it. When we were talking about expanding arm wrestling and trying to get it, big on TV and more exposure, he and a couple other people asked, what is wrong with arm wrestling remaining small? Okay.
Absolutely nothing. I've been doing it for 27 years, small as shit, right? But I'm the guy that was in 1996 thought we was going to be in the Olympics because we were supposed to be a demonstration sport and got beat out by women's beach volleyball, right? So I've already looked at the fact that arm wrestling is never going to be in the Olympics for me. Mm-hmm. It may be for Ryan, but it's my time has passed for that to happen, right? So I want to have a legacy. I want people to know that what I did and what I was good at, and I want people to see it. And I guess it's more so because I missed the 3-year window of ESPN with WAL.
Yeah,
so, damn it. It's a freaking exposure. There's nothing, man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it being small, but it's such a good sport, it doesn't deserve to remain small.
I agree with you.
We have great people in this. I mean, I watch shit all the time, and I know arm wrestlers are way more entertaining than those people. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
we have characters. We have such a close-knit group of camaraderie between the pullers. I mean, there's storylines. There's so much that can be done with the sport. It just hasn't been done correctly yet. Or 100, it hasn't just all the pieces.
That
had
perfect
fallen in
mix,
place. So
right?
in my mind, yes, there's nothing wrong with arm wrestling staying small, but I believe we're professional athletes. I believe we deserve to be treated that way, and I think the world is missing out if they don't get to see us. That's my opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot, because people look at arm wrestling from a distance who don't do it, and they're just like, oh, that's simple. As soon as someone walks up to a table, they feel so uncomfortable, just because they're like, this is not what I thought it was. There's nothing about this that I thought was this way. There's a lot that goes into the sport, technique-wise, training-wise, all that kind of stuff. People work really, really hard in the sport to get really nothing out of it in the end. Yeah, that deserves to have a little bit of a spotlight. If it's done the right way, even better. But finding that mix, obviously, is just we're gonna have to fail a bunch of times.
Well, we've done that. We've got the failing out of the way, so next time we should succeed.
Amen.
Exactly. Who's the smallest but strongest guy you've ever pulled?
Smallest but strongest.
Yeah, someone who surprised you maybe, because you're used to pulling gigantic guys that we all expect to be, very powerful. But was there someone you pulled who was significantly smaller than you that was surprising?
Man, I'm gonna mess this up bad, I'm sure. I can't think right now. I mean, I'm going to be honest, Ryan feels amazing for 132 pounds. I mean, that's a small guy, but I'm telling you, I pulled on his left the other day. I'm like, holy shit. It really felt strong.
No, Ryan made some serious noise at Nationals that we were just at in Charlotte, because I was watching people's faces when he beat them, and they were like, wait a minute. Because they're like, they probably assumed Ryan didn't make that kind of gain in the last year because they pulled him, whatever, a year ago or something like that. And he surprised a lot of people. So that, and
I'm telling you, he's an impressive young man. But there's so many. I mean, there's so many. But the thing is, I've never pulled Zoliev. I've never pulled Rustam Babayev. I've never, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're really strong.
Yeah.
Oleg left-handed, right? I mean, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I've never pulled Vosgin. I've never gripped up at Vosgin on an after table. So
Vosgin had a question for you. He wanted to know if you and Rebecca would kiss for the entire world. That was his question. I didn't ask it, but he did in fact say it. Just so you know, he said it.
Who was it?
That was Vosgin. Vosgin.
All right, good deal. Yeah.
There we go. So now you can be happy, Vosgin. You got your stuff. Let's see, what else? There's a bunch of questions in here about, I think you answered most of this stuff. Guys, if you didn't hear this, listen to the beginning part of the show. He went over his entire training program. But here's one. Does Ryan and Rebecca, do they also do your, a similar model of training that you follow?
Ryan really focuses a lot more on arm wrestling specific training. He does do legs occasionally and back and chest and stuff like that, like the normal meatheads do in the gym. But he's really out there, like he just left to go train. He's out there working the Devin handle a lot. He works the top
curl
a lot. He's working specifically on his post or his cup all the time. And when he goes to a tournament, like he just went to a tournament in Louisiana where he took first again, left-handed. Nice. But he came home realizing that he had found a weakness, and so that's what he started working on training, and he's on that.
He won left-handed, but he was disappointed in the way he won, so he went out there and started training that way. I was like, all right.
Yeah, and as for me, I get bored so easy with training, and I do chest, back, all that junk every week, but I throw in a lot of different CrossFit type moves. And when I'm doing them, I'm just recently started thinking this way, is this something that might help me as far as arm wrestling? Like I did 6 rope climbs today, trying to work on my grip. But then I also got out there on the Devin handle while I was doing chest. And each round of chest, I went over there and I did 30 reps on the Devin handle each hand. So I am working arm wrestling specific stuff, but my main goal is just to be as fit as I can, as strong as I can, so that anything that we're doing, I can not embarrass myself, you know?
No, so that's super cool too, because for a while, so Rebecca had a lot of muscle a few years ago.
I put it on so easily, and I have my entire life, and I realize that most women don't, but I do, and I try. I do a lot of cardio. Sometimes I try to run it off, but just recently, I kind of got a little pissed because back in 2012, I could take 135 out of the rack and bench it with 30 pumping reps. I missed 125 one time the other day because for the last 3 years, I've been focused on running off muscle. And
so she basically caught a lot of flack for being so muscular, and I love that body. I think it looks amazing. So then she tried, I want to be skinny. I want to be so now she's like, screw it. I'm just going to be fit. You know, we got 2 amazing little grandsons, and she wants to be able to play with them. And so, yeah, I'm loving the fact to see her getting out there. Like her workout this afternoon, she did a 45-minute cardio this morning. Then she did an afternoon workout, which was a half-a-mile jog. We got 2-inch thick ropes, so she did a rope climb, 21 sumo squat high pulls, 21 handstand push-ups, 6 rounds of ropes, 21, 15, 9, went back to another half mile. I mean, that type of shit's awesome. I love it. I mean, I'm still laying in bed when she's doing all this. It's still very inspiring. You know what I'm saying?
I still would really like to have tiny little bikini arms, though. That would make me just like
I agree with Mike. Go with the muscle. Muscle's good.
Amen.
So I think I got most of the questions in here, Mike, and I know that they've translated a couple of these recent shows into Russian, so it's really possible that Pushkar might watch this. So I don't know if you have anything you want to say to him before we let you go for this evening.
Man, I'm really excited about this opportunity. I look forward to pulling him. I pray that he comes in as the absolute strongest, most prepared he's ever been, because I promise you I will.
I love it.
Perfect.
Mike, it's been great having you, man. We love having you on anytime. And Rebecca and Ryan are always welcome, too. Absolutely. I want to thank all of you guys really much for sharing an hour with us. We appreciate it.
Hey, man, we appreciate you guys. Love what you're doing.
Thanks.
All right. Talk soon. Have a great night.
Be blessed.
Peace.
Too.